Hello, everyone, and welcome. And in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the latest episodes of Maul. So, episode 3 and 4. In the first episode, we see what happened to Devon after she had basically escaped her prison cell. Um, Rook and basically the rest of Maul's mercenaries were basically there waiting for her after she escaped, edging her towards specifically where she needed to be, which was towards Maul. So she gets stuck with him, and he basically is just explaining to her that he wants nothing else but the best for her, to try to get her to adapt to the new world that clearly the Jedi Order did not prepare her for. And, he's basically trying to dig into her mind to try to get her to go towards the dark side. So they sit down to have some tea, and the entire time she's planning on trying to figure out a way to escape. His lightsaber is just to the left of him, specifically next to the T setup. So he basically explains to her that, he's not as bad as he's portrayed. With this new world, he is realizing that things need to adapt and he can't be the way he was before. However, he could be at any time wanting to go back to that, and he has the capability of doing so. He makes that very clear to her. He also shows compassion, or at least an attempt of compassion, to ask her how her arm is doing. During this, she's obviously trying to figure out a way around this, and she grabs the lightsaber, specifically, obviously, his. So the two of them begin to fight each other. Um, Actually, what happens is she grabs the lightsaber, turns it on, obviously, and it's clearly red. At this point, he shuts off all the lights, and now she is terrified. She's not quite sure what to do now. She doesn't know what to do, and all she does is hear him talking to her, basically trying to convince her that, stop. He's basically telling her to stop thinking of the old ways and realize that you need to adjust yourself to this new world. And that if you don't, you're just going to be begging for scraps on the street. Um, really basically showing that he knows kind of what she's been dealing with during this as well. The two of them, it gets to a point where it is her just fearful of Maul, using the lightsaber as the only source of light to try to figure out what to do, avoid Maul. At this point, Maul is not attacking her in any way. He's just speaking to her. She is the one who's like swinging the lightsaber around, seeing if she can hit him, but also kind of keeping him at bay because she's more concerned of the fact of what he's capable of. She also makes it very clear to him that she's aware of what his capabilities are, and she's not going to risk attacking him due to the fact that she knows exactly what he could do to her. So with just the light of the lightsaber, she's able to figure out how to escape, which is jumping up and climbing her way out of there. Apparently, Maul had this planned out because he's waiting up there, waiting for her to escape. So during this, he whips out his lightsaber, and the two of them begin to fight each other. A lot of back and forth, him still talking to her. Also want to make it very clear, too, that it's showing very much so that he is holding back. Because we know how Maul is. He could have taken her out with ease. But that's not what he's trying to do. He's trying to build her up enough to destroy her to knock her down enough to destroy her, to bring her back to his being apprentice. Basically feeding her the idea that they have the same goal in mind, which is to get rid of the Empire. So a lot of that talking, trying to get her to do everything, to the point where she's able to escape, but before she does, he takes his lightsaber back using the Force and just lets her go. And so we see that she leaves, which I thought was kind of interesting. And that's how that part of the episode ends. So the other part of this episode, which I thought was very interesting, is the fact that we have, I apologize, Tootie, I believe is his name. No, sorry, Ludi. That was bad. They keep letting him out of his prison cell just enough to kind of get the Pikes, information about the Pikes, and try to gather as much information as possible. So during this, I think he's released a few times, and is asked to give the coordinates of where the next shipments are going to be. So he does so. So during this, we also have the police show up to one of the raids, specifically to the point where Ludi, no, Ludi's not there, but Ludi's men are there. And then we have Maul's mercenaries out in the kind of like up on top, watching everything. And the police come in to try to arrest everyone. Turns into a massive shooting match to the point where Maul's mercenaries are trying to figure out or trying to get the money, or aka the credits. The police try to stop them. Two Boots specifically tries to go. Um, and the reason why the main cop that's been involved is not a part of it was because he's at his son's, I guess, sports game, until he gets a phone call stating that they had found at least Maul, or at least found out more information, right? So they failed. They also see where he's going, or the ship is going. So now they have some sort of coordinates. So what they decide is to kind of go through that area. However, nothing comes up. Two Boots and him have a decent argument over the fact that the Empire should be called, and he's very much against it. And we also find out too that his wife is a part of the Empire, is an Imperial something. I forget. I forget. I don't remember if they gave her her rank or not, but she works for the Empire in general, which has caused a rift in their relationship, to say the least. And like I said, the episode ends with Devon leaving. So the next episode starts with Devon reuniting with her master, the cop talking to the chief of police, basically stating that Two Boots is going out of hand, and the fact that he keeps trying to want to bring the Empire in, and nobody wants that. And they kind of agree. So during all of this, we have Ludi convincing the Pikes to meet with him to discuss the issues that are going on. They decide to go meet in person. However, Maul had a plan all along where he had his brother, or one of his brothers, I forget what that would be considered, go in as him. Ludi would stun him. They bring him to the head of the Pikes until they realize that Maul is still alive. Not that that guy's dead anyway, but he was not stunned. So he takes out all the Pikes except for three. Basically exclaims that he is going to be in charge of everyone. However, he will pick the particular Pike, who is like the head guard or whatever, that he'd be the new one in charge, and that he answers to Maul and Maul alone. And anybody who dares resist him / betray him will be eliminated, like all the others that he's done in the past. So during all this, we also know, like I said, the apprentice meets up with her master, who she basically states that they need to figure out how to stop Maul because this planet needs protection. So at first, the master is not thrilled with this idea and is basically just stating that they need to leave because the Empire is going to be coming. And she's like, no, we need to stop Maul here and now. So the master gives the police the information of where Maul is, thanks to the Padawan. And the Padawan and the master both go to the location to see that the police get there. So all of the police force go there, or most of the police force. He shuts. I'm sorry. The head police officer, Ludwig. No, that's a YouTuber. That was stupid of me. What is his name? Wagner. I believe it's Wagner. It is Wagner. So Wagner shuts off Two Boots because he's trying to call the Empire and gets there. It turns into a massive firefight because it turns out to be all planned by Maul, where Maul basically gives the police an ultimatum. Actually, I guess I hate to say it's an ultimatum, but basically stating that we could work together. If you leave me alone, I will make sure that this planet is safe from the Empire. And he declines the offer very much so, where it turns into a massive firefight where the Jedi and the Master and the Padawan go after Maul, who get their butt kicked. During all this, the rest of the police force show up. Maul orders all of his people to leave, and they escape. During this time, the Master is hurt rather severely, and Wagner basically states to them, after figuring out who they are, that they're Jedi, that they needed to leave mostly due to the fact that everyone knows what happens to Jedis if they're found. So he basically gives them a free pass. They continue to look and can't find anybody. Maul has obviously escaped. He meets up with the chief of police. It's very obvious that they were unsuccessful to the point where Two Boots, after a little bit of time, we don't know the exact amount, but Two Boots comes in and basically Wagner says, "I apologize for shutting you off," and Two Boots says, I hope you forgive me as well as I forgive you." And it ends with the a Star Destroyer coming over to the planet. And we see that the master is still trying to heal. I'm sorry, is still in pain and everything else, and the Padawan is worried about her master. However, we all know now that the Empire has shown up to the planet, and that's going to cause a lot of issues for the rest of this season. So overall, I thought these two episodes were very well done. They definitely went together for sure. Um, I also like the fact that we're going to be finally getting the Empire involved almost halfway through. So we're going to be finally getting the Inquisitor in this, where we're going to be seeing a massive lightsaber battle. I mean, granted, we got to see one this episode. Excuse me, episode 4 specifically. No, it's not true. Episode 3 and 4 we got to. So it'll be very interesting to see where the rest of this goes, like how the Empire is going to get involved. How can Maul be able to stop them or at least escape? Because the Empire is definitely has a lot of resources. So I'll be very curious to see what happens there. But overall, looking forward to it. I'm assuming the next 2 episodes are going to be about the Empire getting involved and then them sending at least one Inquisitor. But let me know what you guys thought about these episodes down in the comments below. Did you like them? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.